Let's go over how to set up a bank account for your LLC. It's often a good idea to use the same bank account that you use for personal reasons. That way you can easily move money from one bank account, your business account, to your personal account. And it makes that process a whole lot easier. So what do you need to do to set up a bank account for your LLC or corporation for that matter? Let's talk about what you need to bring to the bank. They'll need to see your articles of incorporation, something like this. For corporations, it's called articles of incorporation. For an LLC, it's called articles of organization. The second thing you'll need to bring is your tax ID number. If you have the letter from the IRS, you can bring that or just write down your tax ID number. Usually, either will work when setting up an account for an LLC. I recommend putting everything in a binder. Include your corporate seal, your membership certificates, the minutes for the meetings, and so on. All the things you need to do to keep your proper formalities for your organization in one place. And when you go to the bank, you have a very professional looking binder. So you come off as very polished and professional. You also need a document to show that you're associated with the LLC, your manager, you're a member, or they'll want to see your association with that company. For example, they'll look online to see if you're listed as the manager of the LLC. If you're a manager of the LLC, they'll go to the next step and want to see your identification. They'll want to know your social security number. Next, you'll need to provide identification. Now, what happens a lot of times is people go down and they'll bring all the proper documentation, but their body language is sending signals. They act like they're nervous, they're uncomfortable, and they act like a kid with their hands caught in the cookie jar. And they're sending off all kinds of signals. Do you think that'll spook a banker? The banker doesn't want to get into trouble by opening a bank account for the wrong person. So if you're acting like something's fishy, then they're going to suspect something's fishy. So just be calm, cool, and collected. And the key thing is close your lips. Say the minimum number of words. Just say I want to open a bank account for my LLC and let them do the rest of the talking. If you're jibber jabbering nervously, you're going to spook them and they're going to get the supervisor. Just make sure you bring your proper papers and simply say you want to open a bank account for your LLC and just answer the questions. So it's really quite simple. You'll have online access, you typically want to get a debit card, and you want a checkbook so you can pay bills and so on. So the process is really quite simple. The key thing is to bring in the proper documentation, the articles of incorporation, some proof that shows that you're associated with the company, and you want to have your tax ID number. And once you do, you'll walk out of there with a bank account and you'll be in business. So that's how you open a bank account for an LLC. Let's move on to the next section on bookkeeping. Bookkeeping is boring, but it's a necessary part of your business. The reason it's so important is because you want to be able to see the clear picture of how your property or properties are performing. It also makes it way easier come tax season when you file your taxes. Now, there's a couple of ways to do bookkeeping. You can either hire this out, do it manually on a spreadsheet, or you can use an automated tool like QuickBooks. Hiring this out might not make sense at the moment, but once you get to that point, you can definitely hire it out to a VA to handle it, which is what I'm doing for my businesses. I pay them a few $100 a month to handle all of my business's bookkeeping. So it's nice not to have to worry about that. I recommend using a tool like QuickBooks for most of you. The reason I like it is because you can connect your bank accounts for transactions to automatically be pulled into the software. You and your VA will still need to go in and reconcile and categorize your expenses, but it's the most intuitive and easiest software that I've seen that keeps everything organized. You can also pull reports on your P&L to see how your property is performing in real time. There are a lot of great resources on YouTube and Google if you want to really learn the ins and outs of QuickBooks.